actually. And then that way, there we go. So I just went ahead and hit the record button. And then if you guys want a copy of this later on, just drop your email in the chat and I'll send you a copy of the video where you can download it. So, so what is hypnosis? What are we talking about? What is hypnosis? There's a lot of misconceptions about what hypnosis is and isn't. We get a lot of that from TV, from movies. It's kind of this dark kind of art, right? Of somehow controlling or manipulating, and people, their thoughts, their actions, and whatever. So that's completely false. That's completely wrong. That has nothing to do with what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is a very natural state. It's a natural state of mind. It's a natural state of being that we all experience at at various levels throughout our day. There's a couple of times where we all experience a deep state of hypnosis, a deep state of trance, twice a day. It's when we're going to sleep at night. So just before we fall asleep, that transition period between wakefulness and sleep, that's a hypnotic trance state. It's a state of kind of openness, of spaciousness. There's not a lot of critical mind going on. There's not a lot of judgments. You're just kind of open, you're spacious, and that just lasts for a moment, and then we slip into sleep. And then the same thing in the morning. As we're waking up in the morning, we will, as we're coming out of sleep into wakefulness, there's that brief little moment there too, where we're in a very deep trance. We're very open and very receptive, and just kind of very relaxed. Our minds are very relaxed. So that's a couple of times, but really we're actually in some form of a trance throughout our entire day and throughout our whole life, at various times. Hannah, sorry, there we go, Hannah. Welcome. A hypnotic trance state is basically just a state of focused awareness where our critical faculty or our judgmental, discerning mind is temporarily bypassed, right? So that could be a lot of things, right? When we're focused, when on like learning a task, for example, we're open to doing things in a new way, right? So we're learning maybe a new language, for example. So the critical faculty for a moment is just bypassed, and we're open to the idea that, there's a computer sitting in front of us or a phone, and we're open to the idea that this has a different name than what we're used to. So that learning state is a powerful hypnotic trance state. It's a very deep state of consciousness where we're open and receptive and we're able to receive new information. Other times when we experience trance are when we're like engrossed in a great story, a good book, wonderful movie, or somebody telling a story. We are in a state, again, of openness, of receptivity. When we go to the movies, we're watching this story unfold on a screen, and part of us knows that it's just light, shining onto this big white screen, and these characters are not real. They're actually being portrayed by actors, and we know their actors' names, and we know some of their personal life stories and all that kind of stuff, and yet we still get so engrossed. Our critical faculty is temporarily bypassed so that we believe that it's happening. We're open and participating actively with the story. We believe that there's the excitement, the adventure, the romance, the heartbreak, the scary moments, all that sort of stuff. We feel that stuff because we're focused and our critical faculty is bypassed. So that is, in essence, what the hypnotic state is. It's a state. I would go a little bit further too, and I would say that it's basically the state that I'm helping people to create and to access intentionally, is a state of focused awareness where the critical faculty is temporarily bypassed, that creates conducive conditions for learning, for healing, and for growth. Okay, so those are the three very powerful states that we can achieve in hypnosis. We can become just more open to learning. We can be more open to healing, both emotionally, mentally, and physically. And then we're more open to and able to initiate growth within ourselves. So yeah, so it's a powerful thing. If anyone would like to just throw in the chat just a yes or a no, what experience have you had with hypnosis? Have you had experience with hypnosis yourself personally? Have you been in hypnosis before, gone to see a hypnotherapist, or have you not had that experience? So you can just kind of put in the chat yes or no, or a couple brief lines about your experience with hypnosis, and I'd love to hear. Wonderful, wonderful. Janice says yes. Ah, yes. Somebody, I don't, Sebastian, no, I've always been afraid. Great, that's wonderful. And the reason why it's wonderful is because, you're able to discern things, and you're able to say like, hey, you know what, you're here right now because you're curious and you want to learn more. And what happens when we learn about something and we understand it and we have some experience with it, we're no longer afraid of it. so what's the difference between hypnosis and meditation? I get that all the time. And actually, I would love to do a meetup, a group here where I talk just about that. But briefly, the two states are quite similar, slightly different, different kind of qualities I find in the experience of meditation. Meditation tends to be more of a wakeful, clear, open, aware state, whereas hypnosis can have a quality of more like kind of a waking dream almost, where we're kind of really getting in touch with the subconscious mind and memories and imagery and deep emotions. Angela, no, I want to try it though. Excellent. So you are at the right place. And yes, Ericksonian trained therapist. Fantastic. I love Milton Erickson. I just, I can watch his videos and just go like, boom, right into trance, just looking at his face. I have recently, but trouble letting go, being relaxed, wonderful. Relaxation, hypnosis, it's a skill. It's something that we can learn how to do. We can get better and better at it. So yeah, so thank you everybody for sharing. So how does hypnosis help us then if we're trying to access what we might call the higher self, maybe a more spiritual aspect of our being? First of all, let's talk a little bit about what I'm talking about when I use the word higher self. Now, let's keep in mind that it's just a word, higher self. It's not, for some people, that term, it doesn't really quite jive with them, and they find other terms to be just more relatable. So I work with people, and we might call it the true self. We might call it our true nature, hence true nature hypnotherapy. I've heard people be really comfortable with the idea of, hey, I'm connecting with my unencumbered self. I thought that was really a wonderful thing that a former client came up with. It's just that self which is not burdened by all of our normal stuff, right? Our beliefs and our history and our background, our patterns, our name, our careers, our relationship status, all that stuff kind of drops away. When we drop all that away, then what's left when we're unburdened from all that stuff? Well, he called it the unencumbered self. So however you want to call it, whatever you want to, however you want to relate to it is fine. And you can play around with that, and you can, just kind of see what works for you, what resonates for you. For me, when I do this practice for myself, I actually use true self a lot, but I also use higher self as well, and I sometimes I'll do my self-hypnosis practice during the day, and I'll touch in with my higher self, and I'll just ask my higher self to help me out and give me some guidance in whatever issue that I'm working through. But sometimes I say the true self, or sometimes I just kind of settle in and I just reach out, kind of intuitively to that higher self wisdom, that true self wisdom and intelligence. So whatever you call it, totally fine. For the purposes of what we're going to do tonight, I'll probably vacillate back and forth between higher self and true self. But know that you can, whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it the soul, if you want to call it the spirit, if you want to call it the divine, if you want to call it the ultimate, whatever term works for you, go ahead and just use that, embrace that, because it's very important that as we're going through this journey, that we are, we're inspired, right? That there's no questions, there's no, these kind of unnecessary hang-ups. That's what I'm saying. Not that there's no questions, but we don't need unnecessary hang-ups. Like, well, is it really a higher self? Is it a true self? Is it this? Is it that? It's the name is not so important as to what it is that we're accessing. And it's just a name that points to a thing that can't be really described. So we're talking about our higher self, our true self. That's that part of our being that is completely pure, completely free, that all of our experience, everything that we've ever thought or said or done, all that stuff is just passing through, right? The higher self is just like the witness of our whole life. It's that part of ourselves that is really has this incredible, lofty, high perspective, almost a divine perspective of our life, who we are, what we've experienced. It has this incredible context of being connected to the totality of all things, of the whole universe and all of its splendor and glory and infinite appearance and expression, and is able to see our lives in a context of it's temporary, it's impermanent, and we are connected to everything. We are really connected to everything all around us. And we might not think that most of the time. And most of the time we don't. Most of the time we don't recognize the fact that our true nature, the way that we actually are, is impermanent, constantly changing. People change their names, people change their jobs, people change their careers, people change religions. All these things that we grasp onto and think are so me. This is me. This is who I am. It's all changeable. It's all mutable, right? So what we're talking about here is that part of ourself that is just simply witnessing all of that, which is aware of all that, right? We're also deeply connected to everything around us. Like I was saying, we're dependent upon everything around us in some way in the universe. Next time you sit down and have a meal, take a few moments to just kind of contemplate what it is that you're doing, contemplate the food, and look at all the different ingredients, and just kind of use your imagination and just recognize, like, oh, this broccoli came from this farm in California, and this rice came from, maybe someplace, who knows where, right? Somewhere else in the world. And the chicken was grown somewhere, was raised and slaughtered somewhere. There was a whole factory and a whole system set up to do that. There were roads, truck drivers, grocery store clerks, the people stocking the shelves, the people packaging the food. Like, it's just this endless kind of web of interconnectedness and interdependence, right? All this meal depends upon the sun and the rain and the soil that all these things grew out of. And the same goes for ourselves. So when we contemplate something as simple as a meal, we can transfer that recognition that this meal is not just one thing. It's actually the culmination of countless other causes and conditions. And the same goes for ourselves. And we're constantly changing and constantly dependent upon other things in order to be. So, and we're connected in a very real way to everything around us, which is then connected to everything around it, and so on, all the way out into eternity. So when we're talking about connecting with the higher self, that's the perspective, right? That's the part of ourself that's connected to all things. We can call it divine. We can call it we can call it the God energy or God consciousness, um, true self, true nature, Buddha nature, all kinds of terms for it. But it's that's part of ourself has the highest view of our life, what we're doing here, and it has a tremendous amount of wisdom, a tremendous amount of love. And we can access that because, I'm sitting here talking about the higher self as if it's something else, right? Which is totally contradictory to everything I just said. But we're dualistic beings, right? We think in dualistic terms, we think in dualistic concepts. So it's hard for us to imagine something that big. It's hard for us to imagine us being inseparable from everything around us. It's hard for us to imagine this aspect of our being that is, again, so pure and so free that it's just connected to everything. So, but we need to talk about it in some way. We need to have a conversation about it. So I am talking about it as if it's a separate part of our being, but make no mistake, it's not. It's not separate from who you are. In fact, it's the essence of who you are. So with that all being said, whatever you've gotten out of that, great. Just take what you've gotten out of that. Some of that might be some new information or new ways of thinking about things. I know there's other people who can explain these sorts of things much better than I can, but I try my best. So whatever you kind of got out of that kind of presentation of what the higher self, the true self is, just let that kind of percolate, let that settle in, and let's just set an intention as we get ready to actually do a little bit of hypnosis here. Kind of drop into a state of openness and receptivity, and become more open to maybe that higher self energy, that true self energy and intelligence and wisdom. And yeah, let's just open ourselves up, be curious, be willing to try something new. Again, I want to emphasize this is completely natural. It's kind of like a guided meditation in a lot of ways. And really all I'm going to be doing is offering you guys suggestions for how to access this part of yourself. At the very end, the last few minutes before we kind of wrap things up, I'm just going to be quiet for a few moments. And, when we're settled into that state and connected with that higher self energy and however that's manifesting for you, you can just kind of have your own experience of that, whatever that looks like for you, a communion, a conversation, asking questions, or just simply just being with that part of yourself, just as you are. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's do some hypnosis. Go ahead and just, be in a comfortable spot. You can be sitting in a chair, you can be sitting on a couch, you can be laying down. Doesn't matter, it's all fine. And just, kind of begin to just come into the present moment. And if you haven't already, go ahead and take a nice deep breath, and on the exhale, let your eyes close down. And just notice your eyes. Bring your attention, your awareness to your eyes, and notice how good it feels just to have your eyes be closed. Notice all the tiny little eye muscles all throughout the eyes, all around the eyes and the eyelids. And just imagine them, experience them now, just becoming very loose, very limp, very rested. Just enjoying as each breath just takes you down a little bit further on each exhale. That's right. And just let that feeling, that wonderful feeling of relaxation around your eyes, just begin to spread up now, up over your forehead, smoothing the muscles in your forehead, just relaxing. As relaxing, healing energy moves up over the top of your head and maybe even spills back down the other side, down the back of your neck. Soothing sensations just cascading down the back of your neck and your skull now to the base of your brain, the sleep center of your brain. And imagine now that that relaxing energy is flooding into your brain now, flooding every brain cell. And because you know that your brain is in communication with and controls the functioning of every cell of your body, just allow all of these wonderful feelings of relaxation, peace, and ease to just be sent to every cell of your body now. That's right. And feel that relaxation flooding down your neck, into your neck and your shoulders. It's releasing and letting go. As warm sensations, relaxation just flow down into your arms now, down through your elbows, into your forearms, your wrists, your hands, all the way out to the tips of your fingers. Releasing and letting go. So that your arms just feel wonderfully heavy or light. I don't know which, but you do. As that relaxing energy now just continues to flow down your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Radiating, healing, relaxing energy throughout your chest, your shoulder blades, your back, your lower back. Radiating through and surrounding, permeating even all of your internal organs, your heart and your lungs. And if you want, you can smile down into your body, down into your heart and lungs, and just be grateful, thankful for all your heart and lungs do for you and all your organs do for you. And maybe you can get a sense that your body and your organs are smiling back. As that relaxing, healing energy permeates all of your internal organs with restful energy, love and healing, and then flows down into your hips, filling your pelvic bowl as you feel yourself releasing, letting go, opening up now to change, to growth, to transformation and deep healing. And now feel that relaxation flowing down, all the way down into your legs, through your knees, through your calves, your shins, your ankles, your feet, all the way out to the tips of your toes. That's right. And now, as you just continue to go deeper and deeper into relaxation, letting go with each and every breath. That's right. Imagine yourself walking upright into a beautiful, calm, safe place. It could be a place in nature or a beautiful room. It could be a real place or somewhere you've been before, someplace you want to go. Whatever you decide, consciously or unconsciously, totally right for you. That's right. And as you walk further into this place, just begin to notice this place with all your senses now, noticing the sights, the sounds, the smells, and the sensations. You might look down at your feet and see your feet firmly planted on the ground as you continue to walk further into this place, feeling more calm and more peaceful with each step. And begin to get a sense now, in some way or another, of coming into the presence of your higher self, of your true self. And it's as if your higher self is waiting for you now, welcoming you into its presence. And you're beginning to recognize now that your higher self, your true self, is surrounding you now and has always been surrounding you. Through every experience of your life, all the way back to the beginning of your life. And who knows, maybe even beyond that, through countless past lives. Whether or not you've consciously remembered this now. That's right. Now, with each breath you take, notice how coming into the presence of your higher self, it feels like coming home, truly coming home. And that you are supported and guided by your higher self unconditionally, unceasingly, every moment of your life. That's right. And now imagine a brilliant white golden light full of intelligence and love and healing, transformative power radiating above the top of your head. And imagine that white golden light streaming from above you into your body now, down through your head, down into your heart, just filling your heart with brilliant, healing, golden white light. And imagine that light radiating from deep within your heart center now, radiating out throughout your entire body, permeating every cell, as you realize that this white golden light is the pure, loving intelligence and transformative power of your higher self, your true nature, filling your entire being now with healing, loving, purifying light and energy. And each and every part of your being that needs loving, caring attention and healing is receiving that now. Ask that this be so now with your whole heart and soul, that each part of your body, each part of your being that needs loving, caring, attention, and healing is receiving that now at the cellular level, the molecular level, the atomic and quantum level, radiating through each and every experience of your life, tending lovingly to each and every hurt and wound so that they are being healed now. Healed and nurtured and transformed. More and more with each breath that you take. That's right. And as this light surrounds you now with love, encouragement, protection, and support, relax and enjoy the feelings of safety and peace, ease, as this light of your true being continues to shine all around you and through you. From now on, for this entire session and far beyond. And as you continue to enjoy this experience, connecting deeply with your higher self, with your true nature, more and more with each breath. That's right. You can now just simply enjoy a communion with your higher self, carrying on a conversation and a communion naturally, spontaneously, whatever way you wish, in this loving light, receiving your higher self's wisdom in whatever way is appropriate, verbally or non-verbally, consciously or unconsciously. Learning to trust this deep inner wisdom more and more. And I'm going to now remain silent for a few minutes as you just simply enjoy this process. That's right. That's right. Recognize now that this conversation, this connection with your higher self will continue, deepening your experience of your higher self from this moment forward. From this moment forward, with each step you take, each breath you take, and feel a sense of gratitude towards your higher self now. As you allow yourself and this whole experience to just dissolve into light, integrating all the learnings that you have received here, integrating all these learnings deep into every part of your being, radiating out throughout your past, your present, and your future now. Now, in a moment, not just yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when I reach the number 5, just go ahead and naturally, easily open your eyes, coming back to normal waking consciousness, back to wakefulness. I wouldn't be surprised if you felt feelings of relaxation, just feeling wonderful in every way. Number 1, starting to come back. Number 2, that's right, easily coming back as all these learnings of this whole experience just dissolve and integrate deep into your being now. Number 3, if you like, you can go ahead and just wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit, just coming back into your body, back into whatever room you're in. As number 4, when you're ready, take a deep breath, wakeful energy, just filling your lungs, clearing your head, balancing your energies. That's right. As number 5, you can come all the way back now, opening your eyes, back to normal waking consciousness, feeling wonderful in every way. And I don't see many cameras on, but I bet you're feeling wonderful. Just let you have a moment to just kind of reorient yourself. Definitely more relaxed. Definitely. Wonderful. Wonderful. Unburdened. It's fantastic. It's like I woke up again. Excellent. Excellent. I actually, people think that I take people into hypnosis, but really my real job is to wake people up from the negative limiting hypnotic trances that we're in. So yeah, so it is like waking up. And Stacy, right. Stacy, you sent me that as a private message, so I won't share it with the group, but I totally get it. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about that. Definitely some things that we can do to settle our minds, to relax. It's a skill, like I say, just like everything else. And the thing is, it's like if and this is not uncommon. Sometimes we do have difficulty relaxing. And what is the opposite of relaxing? It's holding on, right? It's squeezing, holding on tight. And so we need to identify what we're holding on to, if that's the case. And when we can work on that, and we can recognize that there's maybe another way. We don't have to squeeze so hard. We don't have to hold on so much. We can address whatever part of you is holding on. Usually it's around protection, around not feeling safe. Has a lot to do with that. It can have all kinds of root causes, but the main thing is to address that with love, and with self-respect, and with openness, appreciation, and really give ourselves a break. Wonderful, Paula. Excellent. Yeah. Well, so actually, in response to somebody was saying that they wished the session would go on further, I actually am going to go and put a link in the chat here where you can go ahead and download a free recording that I put together of this with a little bit of music, of this basic session, more or less following what we did here, but just kind of spending a little more time with it. So if you are interested, you are more than welcome to just click on that link that I just put in the chat. You can go download that free hypnosis MP3, and I'll be totally transparent here. You'll also get a couple emails talking about the group session, higher self session that I do every Wednesday at 5:30. I do an hour set, about an hour. It's about 50 minutes. And that is a paid session that I do with people. And it's for people that I've either worked with before who want to just get a little boost, a little extra, a little bit of extra. Oh, shoot, I direct messaged that to somebody. That's why. Yeah, so anyway, so it's for people who, either are interested in hypnosis. It's, just priced as like $47 for the hour session. There we go. So that should be the link right there. But anyway, this recording is free. Go ahead, please download it, use it as much as you want. Use it before you go to bed. There's actually some instructions at the end for if you are listening to it at the end of your day as you're going to sleep. You can just simply bypass the instructions, just have your subconscious mind just bypass the instructions to wake up and just slip into a lovely sleep. And I wouldn't be surprised actually if many of you had a wonderful night's sleep tonight. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to leave it there at that. Just kind of open it up for a few minutes if anybody has any questions or has anything else that they want to share, either with me personally or with the group. If you do send me a direct message here in the chat, I won't mention your name, but I might address it. So when I was in trance, at one point I got distracted by thoughts and broke out of it early. Okay, went right back in. That's a wonderful observation, how easy it is. right? That we can come in and out of trance. It's no problem. Sometimes things happen, a dog barks, or, something drops on the ground, or, sometimes there's things that we have to do, that we have to attend to. We can come out of trance, and we can go right back in. Do you have any tips for neurodiverse persons who can't keep a normal circadian sleep wake schedule? That is I mean, I would just suggest here, all the work that I do individually with people starts with this higher self, connection, right? So we start there, and we're coming from a place of an assumption that deep down within the very depth of our being, or the very height of our being, we know the answers. We understand our problem. We know why it's manifesting in the way that it is, and we have a pretty good idea what the solutions are. So the first step that I take with anybody, and especially with, well, not especially, but just with anything, including difficulty with maintaining a natural sleep cycle, is getting in touch with the higher self, and doing a lot of work with the higher self, and just asking, what's going on with this? What do I need to know about this experience that I'm having? What can your higher self, what perspective can it give? What wisdom? What advice? And we start from that, and then, because see, a lot of this stuff is happening on a very deep subconscious level. It's happening on a nervous system level, and so that's all subconscious stuff. We can't think our way out of it, right? There's no neat, little, intellectual exercises that we can do and get ourselves through these problems. We need to go where it's occurring, and it's all happening in the subconscious mind. And our nervous system, our deep nervous system, is part of that subconscious mind. So I would suggest maybe just listening to this recording here, and listen to the recording, and while you're getting that little space towards the end, ask your higher self, how can I better understand this issue that I'm dealing with, and what steps can I take to begin to heal? And just see what you come up with. Do some journaling afterwards. Be patient. Might be a day or two, and maybe something will come up just kind of spontaneously, but it could happen right in that session as well. When I was in trance, somebody was mentioning here, when I was in trance, it dawned on me that relaxation is a skill that you develop and continue to practice. Sounds so simple, but it felt mind-blowing. Absolutely. My automatic idea of relaxation is so far from what my higher self just unlocked. And thank you too. Thank you. I think what you said earlier about holding on may apply. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Somebody also asked too, Ali, I'm going to get to this question here. Somebody was asking too, if you could just go directly and sign up for the hour course, and the answer is yes. And let me just get the link for that here real quick. And I'll put that in the chat. And 1 second here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. And if you're interested in doing it's a group session right now, to be honest, there's not like droves of people coming. So you might luck out, and you might actually get a one-on-one session, which some people have been getting on Wednesdays. So again, this link here is for if you want to sign up for the paid weekly hypnosis session. It's about 50 minutes. It's a full session. We just dive right in, and we do higher self work for the whole time. And Ali, we were saying, I really struggle with visualization. How do I work with that? First of all, you're not alone, and give yourself a break. It's not about, we don't have to perform. We don't have to. Sometimes for some people, visualization just means more like, having a sense of something happening. right? Or just even just thinking the thought, right? And again, visualization is a skill that we can slowly improve upon. My whole spiritual tradition, Tibetan Buddhism, there's all kinds of visualizations, and you're supposed to visualize everything, like to the colors of the eyes of the Buddha that you're visualizing, and all their clothes and their jewelry, and all the the postures that they're in, and how they're holding their hands, and all this stuff. And I'm terrible at that. I'm absolutely terrible at that. The best I can get is just like a sense. And this is what I've just developed over the years. It's like I just say, you know what? I'm just gonna believe that it's here. I'm just gonna believe that this is happening, and just to have a different experience of it, rather than feeling that I've got to see it like a movie or something like that. So just experiment with that. Experiment with just seeing how you can maybe feel a visualization. I know that's kind of strange, or maybe how you can maybe hear things while you're imagining being somewhere else, or just just getting a general sense. So give those sorts of things a try. um Pre-meditation. Yeah, definitely. Someone was saying here, again, it's a direct message, so I won't spill the name, but it sounds something we could talk about. Very similar to meditation sessions I've had. And again, I'd love to do a class. We're just going to talk about that. Um, but I don't feel much different afterwards. Or some people just not susceptible to hypnosis. And that's another really good question. And the answer is uh, no. Actually. And again, part of it just has to do with what is our expectation? What's our expectation of what hypnosis is? And that's something that I would, work with you on an individual, very, very clearly communicate. So we're on the same page. Like, what is this experience going to be like? What are you going to get out of it? A lot of times, actually, yeah, very often people come out of the first session with me, and the first thing that they say is, wow, that's not what I expected. And that's because it isn't oftentimes what we expect. So I would be very clear with what, kind of what the person's preconceptions were, what they thought it was going to be like, what they expected to get out of the session, and all that kind of stuff. Make sure we're very clear about what it is that we're doing. And then, so I believe that there are no people who are not susceptible to hypnosis. We're all in trance. We're all already there. It's just accessing a very natural state of mind and a state of being. So vibrating with a higher frequency now, eyes more open, calmer, breathing better, more aligned. And thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Julie, for being here. So yeah, so I've got those couple of links in the chat here. I will post them up in the meetup group as well, in our message board there for this session in particular. There's also the link for if you want to come to the paid session on Wednesdays, you sure can do that, or you can just get the free download as well. So I had a real pleasure talking to you all tonight. It was really wonderful. So please stay in touch. You can check out my website too, www.truenaturehypnotherapy.com. There's other resources on there, some videos and things like that. You can check out my YouTube channel, all that stuff. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you all got a lot out of it and had a good experience, and that this journey continues for you. Yeah, thank you, Sebastian. Thanks, Andreas. Fantastic. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Be well. Thanks, Mary. Awesome. Good night, everybody.